Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently, well, we've warped ahead a little bit, and the reason that I did that off camera was A, it was boring, and B, we needed to get the colony core over onto the day side before we attempted this landing. So we've warped ahead just enough for this to get over onto the day side. I think around the periapsis or so is probably when we want to do our inclination change. So something kind of like this-ish, maybe pushing forward a little more. I mean, if we go up here, it'll require more. I think doing it around here is probably about right. We can always correct that later on. So that should be fine. We're going to head up to anti-normal here, and we'll position for that burn. That'll be in about 10 minutes. And we should note here that we're on the dark side, so we have no access to power at this moment. So our electric charge is what it is. We'll tick on forward here, and we're just going to warp to this burn. Beautiful. Hello, Kerbal. Okay, let's go ahead and rotate here so that our solar panels are slightly more effective. There we go. And we'll commence this burn in about 50 seconds. 30 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Cool. So we're going on to stability assist here and just pointing at the actual node. That'll be fine. This flag courtesy of the Bob Kerman planting machine TM. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so we're just going to call that good enough for now. We're going to go onto surface mode and switch over to retrograde. So how far are we currently from our actual colony core? Well, we're a ways away. So we should definitely consider warping to around here. At least a few minutes forward. So we can hopefully see this pretty soon. Ooh, there we go. We'll get that rotated on over. We still can't see the colony core. From here, it's not in our line of sight just yet. So we're just going to warp on forward a little bit further, and I'm interested in potentially putting it in a maneuver around here-ish to do our braking burn. Now, our braking burn is going to take a little bit more than we had hoped, and we can see that we're going to need to head a little bit this way as well. So let's go ahead and pull that out of there. Actually, it's this direction. So something kind of like this. Cool. So that's 712 meters per second, right? So we're going to burn out the remainder of the fuel in this tank, and then we'll switch on over. Cool. So we're just going to position here. There's no fuel in that tank right there, but we need to start our burn about now. Beautiful. Okay, there we go. And our colony is, of course, right here. That's our moon colony site. So let's bring this on in. We're just going to completely kill our surface velocity here soon. But we're going to have to do a bit of a pivot here. It's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting indeed. So let's get into position for that and kill as much of our relative velocity as we can. We've got another 470 meters per second to go here, but that's fine. We've got plenty of delta V in this tank to get us down. I'm not concerned about that. So we're going to bring this on over. Wonderful. We're about out of fuel here. And let's... right, I forgot about that. We need to undock this. There we go. We'll now control from here. And we're going to point this to be this direction now. And we, of course, need to continue our burn. So we'll just position here, and let's burn. Beautiful. You know what? I'm just gonna... What did we just blow up? No, seriously, what blew up? I have no idea what blew up there. Everything appears to be fine. Okay, so we know that we're going to have to go this direction a little bit, right? So let's go ahead and set our colony core as our target. And we'll get zoomed back in here. We're just killing our surface velocity for the moment. We don't care about this anymore. I have no idea what blew up there, but it seems like it should be fine. Okay, so we're just going to come around over, that's anti-target. We're going to come around over this direction here and burn at the horizon towards the target. Cool. That's a little bit too much. So let's take it this direction. There we go. That's a bit more like it. Beautiful. So we're just going to take this up a little bit, and now we'll switch around to retrograde here. I'm going to be in orbital mode, but we'll switch around to retrograde. Okay, we're going to let this drop for a little while. So let's go ahead and move this on forward. Okay. We can definitely see that we're going a bit too far this way. So we could kill that speed if we wanted to. Like so. Break this on down. And then push this so that this is basically right here. Basically pure vertical. And then we can just get some horizontal speed over this way. Some of our bits just hit the surface. That's fine. So we're only killing the horizontal speed right now. We have some surface speed that we're killing. But for the moment, this is primarily just the horizontal speed. Okay, now we want to turn so that we are... Let's see. We want to go something kind of like this-ish. Except at the horizon. Okay. So we'll get that horizontal speed up a bit. And I want to kill our vertical speed a little bit here. Kind of like that. We'll just coast along like this for the moment. We are currently about 7 kilometers up. So we should flip over to retrograde here. And we can see our retrograde is almost on anti-target. So we're just going to push that up this direction a little bit. Cool. And we'll call that probably good enough. Well, we're going to have to continue to adjust this. Doing another corrective burn here. There we go. Cool. So we're heading basically directly at the target, right? But we are picking up a little bit of gravity speed, which is pushing us off target slightly. So we have to continue to do these corrective burns. And we'll push this on over. That'll be good enough for now. And we can see this is drifting further and further off. That's to be expected at this time. Okay. Let's push it on back. And realistically, for the moment, this should be pretty much just counteracting gravity, right? So, we're off a little bit down this way. That's for sure. Okay, so something kind of like that. And then we counteract the gravity over here. And push it on back. Beautiful. So we can definitely see that we want to push over this way a little further. I'm pulling the node right now. There we go. And let's flip over to retrograde now. We're starting to get pretty low, so we're going to be about as close as we're going to be for the moment, unless we fully kill our velocity and go for a second approach, which we probably have the fuel for. But let's go ahead and break this. We're moving pretty quick. For the moment, I'm going to only kill our... Well, we could kill the vertical velocity only. Don't do that. There we go. So we're currently scooting like this direction, which is basically the opposite of the direction we want to go. We want to go over here, right? but a little bit up. Okay, let's flip to retrograde. We're pretty low here. We're just going to have to bring this in. Not the closest, but it's okay. We could do another hop if we really, really wanted to. Okay. We're in orbital retrograde. That's a big part of the problem. I should have swapped that to surface retrograde. There's no doubt about that. Okay, let's get this to the point where it's slightly slowing down. There we go. We're still about 300 meters up. Actually, let's propel this so that we're going up a bit. And let's use this to come on in. So we don't really want to be retrograde. Yeah, we want to be out over here-ish. Okay. Come on. You can get in there, prograde. I'm trying to push that prograde node in. It's not really going well. Let's switch to retrograde. Kill this velocity. Cool. So that did bring us in a little bit closer. That's good. But it's not really as close as I wanted to be. So let's just bring this up again. Get ourselves a little bit of vertical speed. And let's actually point correctly this time. Okay, so that'll be down over here. Things are really weird feeling, but that's, I guess, to be expected. Okay. Cool. Now let's flip around to retrograde. And we can begin our braking burn around now. We could bring this in even closer if we wanted to. Realistically. So, of course, the way that we do that is by taking this up again, like this, and bringing it even closer. Like this. Okay. Yep, that'll do the trick. So we're going to begin our braking burn here about now. There we go. And from here, we should be completely fine to just bring this gently on in. We're somewhat close. Not as close as I would have liked. We could get a little closer, but I'm not going to tempt fate. We should be fine here. So we're just going to slowly decelerate here. Okay, let's just go into stability assist now. We've got a little bit of horizontal velocity, but we'll turn on our brakes action group. I'd also like to get pivoted around here so that we don't have to try to turn. Okay. Things got slightly awkward there. But it's all good. Cool. And now we hope that we are capable of going up this hill. That is the hope here. Is this really uphill? It almost looks downhill to me. Okay, so here we are. Brakes go off. For the time being, SAS goes off, and we're going to have this go to... Actually, it should be on SAS only, and SAS can be on. So SAS only there. There we go. SAS on. And off we go. We see this wheel spinning. Are our brakes on? They shouldn't be. Oh. Okay, this wheel's actually broken. So is this one. So that is what ended up blowing up there. Okay, interesting. Well, only the back wheels. Those shouldn't have been affected. The front wheels... This front wheel is also broken. Okay, so here's what we'll have to do. We'll have to hop over here, and we'll have to get Lenbert out. Lenbert is then going to fly on over, and where is that? You know, I'm actually not sure. So let's set the colony mining module here, if we can find it. There we go, as our target. So that way it should get... There it is. Okay. I was looking too far away. We're going to try not to wreck these Gigantors. There we go. And we're going to head on out with Lenbert. Now keep in mind that our repair kits are located on this. We don't need to bring repair kits out. So that's good. And we're just heading on over here. There we go. We'll get some vertical altitude until we arrive about here. Cool. And we'll now break our horizontal and break our vertical as well. And we'll just come on in here and land on top for the time being. Well, maybe not on top, actually. Maybe like down here, so we don't accidentally break those radiators, hopefully. So getting these wheels repaired should do the trick. Cool. So we can now grab repair kits out of here. About like that. Beautiful. Make sure that this does have its brakes on while we're repairing this, and hopefully we don't get any Krakens. We will quick save to prevent any Krakens. And from here, we should be able to step on over this way, I think. Yeah, so we repair that with one repair kit. Beautiful. And then there's this one here. We'll just check all of these and make absolutely sure. We don't appear to have any access to repairing this. Okay. This Rove Max requires repair. There we go. And we'll go check the other side. This is slightly rocky, this terrain, no doubt about that. Let me try to find this wheel here. There we go. We'll repair that one. Perfect. And we'll come on over this direction. We're definitely sliding now. There's no doubt about that. I don't think this one requires repair. I don't think either of these required repair. So we've got one repair kit left here. I'm a little surprised that these were damaged, but sure. Okay. So now we can see that we are sliding here. And that is, of course, because our brakes aren't actually high enough. So let's go ahead and get those brakes turned on to maximum. I'll just grab this one first, then this one. And this one is currently, clipping through rocks a little bit, but there we go. Cool. So we are still sliding here, but let's go ahead and turn our brakes off. And we're just going to try to steer our way over here. Now, it would appear that our steering is inverse from what I'm expecting. So we may need to do a control from here. Yes. This is the steering I was expecting. Okay, so we're going to try to go this direction rather than this direction. Our traction isn't great, but we could try to up our traction control. And see what that ends up doing. So we can see we're heading in at like 2.5 meters per second, right? Which is fine for the moment. Okay. In fact, we are heading a decent direction here. Beautiful. Now that our traction control is up, things are looking decent. Although we have some... We're like power sliding in some regards. Now, I'm not sure which port we actually want to go in on here, but it looks like it's this far port over on this side. Cool. So we're heading on in here. We're going at 4.6 meters per second, 4.7. This is nice and downhill, so I don't mind that. I also do think that we want to back in. So we want this control port to be the one that we dock with. That'll make things somewhat easier. Okay. So we're chilling here. We should probably turn our brakes on quite soon. Cool, that is decelerating us. Good to see. Good to see. Decelerating us quite rapidly, actually. A little bit more rapidly than I was expecting it to. But overall, this looks good. Oh, and actually, we did lose these here. That's what we lost. Okay, I was apparently dumb and didn't realize that we lost that set of landing gear. It's fine. It is fine. Okay, so we're braking here, and now we need to try to bring this thing in. The question is, how are we going to do that? Well, first things first, we're going to need to try to spin this, right? And back it up a little bit. So, can we do so? The answer is yes, actually. Cool. So this is coming into position now, and we're just trying to go forward a bit here. We are currently drifting sideways this way, which I really strongly dislike. Yeah, I feel like we shouldn't be. Okay. Let's see about peeling out of here this direction, because we need to stop this sideways momentum. So we need to get up over here, facing this way, right? This power slide is exciting. There's no doubt about that. And we could potentially tune that down a little bit. We might take out that solar panel, but I think we're okay. I'm going to turn off the steering in these back wheels here. And now we're going to try to bring this guy around. We were just a little too close over here for the maneuver that we were trying to make. So, can we get this turn done? That appears to be a hard negative. Okay, I'm going to turn off the steering here as well. Or actually, what if we just simply invert these? That's a hard maybe. And then something kind of like this. Yeah, that gets us turning. I like it. So we're going to try to swing this guy on around and take it back over here, where we can hopefully do a kind of like 3-point turn. Hopefully. We've kind of stopped turning here. And we're starting to drift backwards. Now that I don't like. Okay. So I'm going to turn SAS on here, and we're going to switch this over to normal. And let's see if we have enough oomph. Ah, yes. Our SAS can just spin us like this. Beautiful. That is exactly what I wanted to see. And let's just take it back this direction a little bit. So that's going to be the easiest way to turn. That's... Whoa, okay. Right, because we need to disable this. So this goes to SAS only. This goes to... Oh, that was already on SAS only. Okay, that's exciting. And this goes to SAS only as well. Or actually, maybe just this one? No, because of the directionality. So that goes to SAS only. And now what we need here is to, like, not gimbal these back engines and throttle them up ever so slightly here in the hopes that they counteract our gravity. The gimbaling on these engines is actually inverse of the direction we want. So we do it like this. Okay, I don't want to actually lift off here. So it just very gently come forward. Man, we have like no motor power here, which is odd because we have very little weight here as well. I'm wondering, what happens if we shift our center of mass back here by moving this fuel? I guess we'll find out. But this shouldn't be this complicated to get us moved up over here. I'm feeling like our motors, 16.6. It feels like these motors are just not going as hard as they should, to be honest. We want this to still be in. Because, yeah, the motors are just not succeeding here. Which makes me very sad indeed. But we're just drifting sideways here. Which also feels like we shouldn't be doing that. Hang on. Hang on a moment. I just noticed this guy is turning this way. No, I think that's right. I think that is right. Well, no, it's not. This is inverted from where it needs to be. So let's go ahead and invert that steering direction. And in theory, well, what is that going to really do? Well, we can hop into our maneuver mode here and see that our pitch is up here. Well, our brakes are on, so obviously we're not going to be going. I'm dumb. I'm very dumb. But let's counteract gravity a little bit by doing some of this and try to push ourselves forward using our gimbaling like this. Now that's going to turn us, but it also pushes us forward because our gimbaling is weird. Okay. That's too much power. Obviously. Did we break our wheels? No. Well, wheels or brakes on now. And the question becomes, how can we make it up this tiny little hill? I was hoping that the additional wheels here would fix that, but these were too close to the engine. And that is something that should have come out in testing, but I guess we just didn't burn long enough to make that a thing. I'm wondering if some of these are motoring the wrong way. Motor direction reverse. Motor direction reverse. Motor direction reverse. It's possible that some of these are motoring the wrong way. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quick save this. Oh, we can't quick save while moving over the surface. Right. Let's break this. 3, 2, 1. And let's do a quick check here, making sure the motors are going the right way. So we're going to quick save. We're going to revert back to that quick save, but we're just going to put this in orbit over something. I don't care where. Put it into orbit. And we are going to, again, revert this quick save. But I want to check to see, are these all rotating the same direction? And this is the easiest way to do that. So, brakes off. Okay, so it looks like these are rotating this direction. 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 I think this side is counter-rotating. That would make a lot of sense, based on what we're seeing. So these go to normal. And they're now going this way. And these are going... maybe now they're counter-rotating. They're all going this direction here. So towards this end of the rocket. And this is going... hang on. Let me turn on the brakes here. Towards this end of the rocket. Okay, so they are counter-rotating then. So let's go ahead and load in our persistent save. Beautiful. And let's load that back in. So we know that one side is counter-rotating. That makes a lot more sense. That makes a whole lot more sense. Let's get this in position, hopefully. Oh, come on, you can load. There we go. Back into the tracking station we go. And we go to our colony mining module here. And now that we know that one side is counter-rotating, we can just invert one side, and it doesn't actually matter which one, as long as we know which direction is which. Okay. So let's load on in here. Any moment now. Come on, Caspi. You can do it. There we go. Okay, so where's our destination? This is our destination here. We're going to invert this side. So motor direction, normal. Motor direction, normal. And motor direction, normal. There we go. Brakes off. And let's see which direction is which. Hey, look at that. We're moving forward as I'm pressing forward. I like it. It's very slow. Very slow indeed. And I don't dare physics warp, otherwise we'll create krakens. But I believe that is a solution there. Now I'm going to disable steering here. So disable that steering and disable this steering. I think that it doesn't make sense to have the middle ones be steering. Okay. And steering is kind of inverted, I feel like. But that's fine. Okay. Let's see if we can get going forward here. Oh, we're picking up the same drifting issue. We'll just try to power through this bit of the hill with our gimbal. And just try to pick up some speed there. Cool. We're hoping to pick up more speed than this. Okay. We're going to have to use our gimbal here. I'm going to shut down these engines here so that we don't take off quite as much. There we go. And let's head on forward. Now, our steering, I'm actually going to completely disable here because we're going to use SAS for steering. That just works a lot better. So, steering disabled and steering disabled. Cool. And now we'll use our gimbaling to propel ourselves forward, our gimbaling on our engines. And we may actually be able to change the angling on this engine. That's another potential option. But the gimbaling seems to be doing the trick. Cool. So we'll just make our way through here. And we will, of course, need to steer up here soon. But all I want to do is bring us, like, in line here. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this over to pilot only. And we're going to steer over to be about here or so, parallel to our target. Now we switch this over to be SAS only. And let's propel ourselves forward a little bit. This'll work. It's not great, but it'll work. So we want to propel ourselves forward so that we are in line with this guy. We'll set that as our target, and we'll turn on our brake action group here in a moment, switching this over to normal. Brake action group on. Okay, back off. And let's get this rotated a bit. I actually want to turn this off again, because we're going to need to propel ourselves a little bit more forward. Not much, but a little bit. Something kind of like that. Okay, brakes on. We will turn this on to normal. And at this point, we want to line up over here. Like this. Okay, I'm checking our gimbaling here. That's a little bit awkward. We'll turn that off. Did I not turn that off? That was on pilot only. I want it to be on SAS only. There we go. Now, we're gimbaling it this direction to push us this way, ideally. Well, that's awkward. Very awkward indeed. Maybe because of the brakes? All we're really able to do here is counteract the slide. If we go too much more, we start lifting off. which is not what we want. Okay. So we'll turn the brakes on here, and we're just drifting this direction, which is the opposite direction of what we want to be. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do some alterations to where these rockets are. But that'll be something, I think, for the next episode. We've already gone over time here, so we're just going to take Lembert on over. We'll make a couple modifications to this rocket, or rather, not really rocket at this point, but to this module in the next episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisil, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.